You probably can't remember the last time you went 3 days completely without screens. No phone, no internet, and no Netflix in the background. I thought it would feel peaceful and refreshing, but the silence hit harder than I expected, especially when I had to sit with my own thoughts instead of doom scrolling my phone. But by the end of my short experiment, something shifted. So if your days are too fast, let me show you what happens when you finally unplug. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Peter Fetisov. I'm a career and well-being coach here in Ireland, and my life purpose is to help people rediscover their true selves and live a happier life. Part 1. The price of constant noise. I used to spend a lot of time online between coaching clients, staying in touch with friends, or just keeping up with life. Screens are basically an extension of my hands. But recently I realized something scary. I couldn't remember the last time my brain was completely quiet for a day. Even when I wasn't working, like on holidays, I was still consuming audiobooks, podcasts, news, and endless YouTube interviews. So this idea of complete digital detox grew inside me for some time, but eventually I decided to go completely offline with no screens for at least 3 days, from Friday till Sunday. No gadgets, no internet, just a couple of books, pen and paper, and offline world of Dublin City. And that was the beginning of one of the most unusual weekends of my life. The first thing I noticed was how loud my mind became once all the external noise disappeared. I realized I'm a very happy audio consumer. I always have something playing in the background, even when brushing my teeth or walking in the nature. So the silence felt almost unbearable. It's funny, we often say we want peace and quiet, right? But when it finally comes, it feels like withdrawal. I think it's because silence is not empty. It's full of your own thoughts, and some of them aren't comfortable to listen to. Of course, I caught myself wanting to reach for my phone hundreds of times, not to check my calendar or inbox, but to escape my own head. Instead, I paid my attention there and listened, and what started as restlessness slowly turned into clarity. By the end of the first day, I started getting comfortable with my random thoughts and my own voice again, the one that gets drowned by algorithms and autoplay. Part 2. The loneliness of modern connection. On day 2, Saturday, something else hit me, the impossibility of spontaneous connection. Being offline means that I couldn't message anyone, right? And I couldn't check who is around. If I hadn't prearranged a meeting well in advance, I was basically invisible for my friends. I asked myself, what happened to the times when you could just knock on a friend's door and ask, "Hey, fancy for a coffee walk?" Now that feels almost rude, like an invasion of someone's scheduled time. We expect every interaction to be pre-booked and emoji approved. Living without the internet for a few days made me realize our relationships are real, but they've become heavily scheduled. And when screens disappear, life can suddenly feel quiet and even lonely. But maybe loneliness is not the absence of people, it's the absence of presence. Part 3. Hidden triggers. Another big discovery for me were food cravings. I didn't see that one coming. I think I started overeating, and not because I was hungry, but because I wanted to fill the empty spot left by scrolling and watching and listening. Entertainment used to come from the internet, and now I was trying to get it from food. It was such an interesting psychological pattern, one distraction replaced by another. So I began experimenting. Each time I wanted to snack, I made a cup of warm herbal tea and sat down for writing. And it worked. It gave me comfort and something to do without numbing my brain. So if you ever try a screen detox, plan for this as well. Because when your mind stops getting its regular dopamine hits from screens, it will search for replacement. Food, alcohol, or maybe shopping, you name it. So be gentle with yourselves, but be aware. Part 4. Getting my mornings back. Probably the hardest moment was mornings. That urge to grab my phone the second alarm rings, check news or emails was so strong. But once I resisted it, something beautiful happened. My mornings became really slow, quiet, and grounded. I focused on the senses of my body, really noticed things again, the smile of my wife, the smell of coffee, or just the sunlight on the street. And by the end of the third day, I wrote almost 20 handwritten pages in my journal. I wrote about everything, what was coming into my mind, where I see myself 15 years from now, what my perfect week could look like, new ideas for my business and for this YouTube channel as well. A list of people I wanted to reconnect with and talk about what's important. It feels really amazing what your brain can do when it finally stops running away from itself. Part 5. Learnings. So what did I learn from 3 days without screens and internet? That silence isn't the enemy, it's the invitation. That connection isn't built through technology, it's built through your presence. That focus and creativity don't come from productivity hacks, they come from mental stillness and capacity. And that my brain, and maybe yours too, has been starving not for more information, but for more integration. We consume thousands of inputs every single day. Reflection, that's the missing piece. So after this experiment, I started scheduling small digital detoxes every week. Just a few hours of silence, no phone, no internet, nothing, especially in the mornings and before going to bed. And honestly, it's been one of the best mental health habits I've ever created, after daily meditation, of course. And here, my question to you. When was the last time you went 24 hours without screens? Or maybe the whole weekend? If you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or constantly behind, it might not be that you're lazy or weak. It might be simply that your brain hasn't had proper silence in years. Try it, even for one day. Unplug, breathe, and just listen. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button below. It really helps the channel reach more people. Subscribe if you'd like more real-life experiments like this one, on balance, well-being, and rediscovering calm in a modern world. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.